Okay, Blake, thank you so much. First of all, for working with me. Second, for making it through and sharing your feedback with me. This is really important because I've got folks that reach out who are not familiar with working with me and they're kind of like, I don't know, what's it like? And there's nothing better than listening to somebody who's been in your shoes and your past client, current client. Now we're going to continue doing some work, but you made it through the initial 6 month engagement, a little bit longer than 6 months of one on one coaching using stakeholder center coaching. And I just wanted to kind of capture a few of your responses. The first question that I like to ask is kind of what was going on with you and what was going on with work and your career and everything before we started working together. Do you mind talking about that a little bit?
Sure, and thank you for the opportunity to share my experience. It's been very positive, and I guess a little insight is I'd recently relocated to a new area, new team. Had I guess come off some successes, but hadn't built those relationships with the new team, and was tasked with trying to grow a new market for the company. And I think that at the beginning, I was uh, results driven manager, focused on winning, but not really building relations. And through the last 6 months, we really kind of worked to develop my relationship building skills, and focusing on the team and our clients, which in turn, when you look at the numbers, we definitely drove business up as a result of building those relations. And that was a huge eye-opening experience for me, that that was where my resources really need to be devoted to, is out there building relationships, and putting the team in a position to take care of the day-to-day activities.
Yeah, it was really interesting to see. We talked about it and kind of joked about it along the way. Of course, it's funny after the fact, never funny in it. But we talked about, what got us here isn't going to get us there. And so work is sometimes it evolves into something different than what we're used to seeing. And you trusted me to kind of experiment with some ideas of, well, that doesn't sound like work. Well, that's just something different that you might want to try. So, um, and you said you've had significant growth. I mean, do you want to throw out there the percentage of growth that you have done in a short period of time?
Yeah, I think over the last 6 months, we sold around $94 million and added about a year of backlog, and we've grown the team from we about doubled the size, I guess, of our internal team, which is pretty phenomenal within the 6 to 8 months we've been working together.
Yeah. And what we started out thinking was growth was one thing, and then you really did focus on the relationships internally and the relationships outside of work, and your results show it. And to be able to add that many people to support the work is phenomenal because it allows you to work in a different way. Do you want to talk maybe a little bit about the process of what it was like working together?
Sure. I mean, I think I'm a little hard headed, so it took a little bit of, there was some resistance at the beginning. I'm sure you could share in that. And I think having the feedback, the real time feedback on, from your stakeholders, and really I guess the breaking moment for me was understanding I didn't really need to work on necessarily things that I thought I needed to work on, but getting the feedback from the stakeholders, really understanding it and saying, okay, well, this is really where I need to devote development towards. And you can focus your effort on improving those areas, instead of maybe, having focus on something that maybe is already okay that you don't need to focus on. I think that was a big insight, for me. And then, along the way, either taking feedback from you or taking feedback from the stakeholders, making adjustments, making changes. Sometimes it worked, sometimes it didn't, but you were able to get that feedback very quickly and figure out, well, maybe it didn't necessarily work that way, but we could, just change it slightly and then see if that worked. And in most cases, sorry, light. Um, we were able to pivot and get the result we wanted, but we were able to do that because we had feedback coming to us in a much quicker, duration than normal.
I have to also recognize the fact that you did the work. You went and had the conversations with stakeholders around you, and you had the courage to be able to go out there and do that. So this work doesn't just work like you take a tic tac and now you're going to be this great leader. You're doing the hard work that comes with it, and having the discipline and the humility and the courage to be able to go out and receive information, then to decide what it is that you want to do. And you were able to get the results as a at the end of the process, you got the measured results with the mini survey. You got a gauge, halfway through, and then you got another survey at the very end for you to be able to compare. And you were successful in both mini surveys, even within 90 days, and then again at the end of 6 months. I'm curious, do you have any surprises along the way, or was there just kind of like one big surprise, kind of looking back on our time together that we've worked together? Anything that you're just kind of like, who knew?
I think I'd have to go back to the relationship. I mean, I thought, for years and years, maybe I was rewarded in my career for getting those results, and that's where I probably put the most emphasis was obtaining, a profit margin of executing the work, delivering on a schedule, having high quality product at the end of the day. I wasn't very focused, I would say, on how my team felt about their day-to-day work, or how the client really, perceived how our relationship was versus, how I felt like if I gave a good product, then at the end of the day, my job was done, versus now, that's great, but at the end of the day, in construction, which is the industry I'm in, anyone can build a building. It's my job to create an environment where, one, the team is happy and having fun doing their work, but then two, the client and their experience with our company, is one that they want to have a repeat, experience with. So the next time they have a building, there's no hesitation on who they're going to call.
I love it. All right. So sometimes I have folks that reach out to me and they're like, I don't know what it's like working with you. So I defer to conversations like this, and I appreciate you being willing to share. If there's somebody who's on the fence and they're kind of like, I don't know if I really want to work with her or not, what are your words to maybe those folks that are considering and they're just kind of on the fence?
I would just say go for it. I've gone through a ton of, development courses over my career. I've been to FMI Project Manager Academy. I've taken the Dale Carnegie course. I've done several internal development programs in our company, and I don't think there's anything that I've done over the last 10 years that has been as beneficial to me as the Katie Caney program. Just helping me really identify the areas that I needed to work on, and really, going back to, it's not what you have done that's going to get you where you want to go. It's understanding those things that you need to be doing to take you to the next level. And I think that's what this program and with working with Katie has really done for me.
Blake, thank you so much. I really have enjoyed, getting to work with you, and look forward to continuing to support you, and the growth that you're creating and your team's creating is phenomenal. So thank you so much.
It's been fun to watch and be a part of.